What's up, it's you? For today's video, very full new Mega Pokemon team. Ryan, this one's for you. Alright, we've got these new Megas from ZA. I'm going to be covering the starters today. There's their stats. What abilities do you think they are going to get? That's what this video is all going to be about. We're going to do the Pokemon as the Megas, and we're going to speculate what abilities will they have, depending on what stats they've been given. If you're hyped for the return of the theme teams, hit that like button and give me your thoughts on any of these Pokemon or all the Pokemon in this video. I'd like to know them. I've got 7 battles today with the Mega Pokemon team. First battle, we got a random battle, and we've got a nice salty little flinch there with my mixed Mega Greninja set. Now, judging on Greninja's stats, I had a look at it, I think it's still going to get an ability that's similar to Battle Bond. It might increase its stats a little bit more, or it could even increase the damage output or the number of hits from Water Shuriken. So you tell me what you think Mega Greninja is going to get. Tell me all your thoughts in the comment. I'd love to see them. Alright, so we're trying to get some flinches here. We got a Salty swap on the X-Drill at the start, and we got a Kingdra setting up Agility, which is interesting. This set is Stellar Mega Greninja, and I wanted to sort of get the protein and the Stellar sort of boost there, and it was also Staffberry too, so I sort of did Staffberry as the boost that Mega Greninja could actually get. So going for some dank pulses there, and unfortunately Agility kind of counters this flinching strategy. So Waterfall flinch, Dark Pulse for flinch, and Extra Sensory for flinch too. So I was thinking about a little bit, I'm like, should I just sack this off? Do I really want to swap any other Pokemon into this? And I just left it in. So it wasn't a bad start there. Excadrill lost its Focus Sash and its ability to set up Stealth Rock. So it wasn't all that bad a start. We're going to go to Mega Meganium now. Now, obviously, Meganium is a Fairy type when it Mega Evolves. It doesn't really get any super amazing offensive stats at all. It's all right, but it does get the Fairy typing. So I gave this one a physically offensive set when I gave it Terra Fairy too. The only Fairy move it actually learns outside of Terra Blast is Charm, so I had to give it Terra Blast. This was Terra Blast, Ancient Power, Giga Drain, Fake Tears, and Fairy Feather as the item. Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Tip of Nature. So in comes Gengar here. Gengar is actually quite a good swap in for Chesnaught. Chesnaught's got the ability Bulletproof, right? So I figured that I'd have Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, and they had Sludge Bomb. So that's great for Gengar. A free swap in. Sadly, with this set, I couldn't really do a lot at all to Gengar, but of course they didn't really know that. So Gengar's going to be swapping out there, and we've got Gothitelle coming in here. I went for Leech Seed. Now, I looked at my party, I'm like, man, I'm probably going to get locked in by Shadow Tag. I'm in a bit of trouble here. I guess I could try and stall with Spiky Shield a little bit, but they didn't have Shadow Tags. It's like, all right, they've got competitive ability then. So I swapped out there and went into Mega Delphox. Now, Delphox, obviously its Mega is on a broom, so I gave it an air balloon, right? And this is just going to get some more offensive stats there, pretty much. I gave it a nasty plot set. I tried to do movesets that depict what their Megas would sort of play as well. With Chesnaught, it'd be a real tanky sort of stally moveset. I think that's going to work well. Or a high, physical attacker as well. Delphox, we've got Nasty Plot, Fire Miss, Psyshock, and Grass Knot, Terra type, Stellar, actually. I thought that'd be cool. Magician is the ability. Magician is pretty interesting because it works well with if you consume an item real quick, or you don't have one to begin with here. So I thought this wasn't a bad matchup here for my Delphox to get Nasty Plot up, because Gothitelle, the worst it's going to be able to do is a Shadow Ball, right? Or a Dark Pulse, which it did. So Delphox is going to live that pretty easily. And this Gothitelle is also going to be feeding me Leech Seed health back too, which is really good. But tell me what you think the abilities could be for Delphox. I wonder if it gets Levitate. That's what it could get Levitate. I know that sounds a little bit of a letdown, but it's on a broom. It's flying in the air. It could well have Levitate. It could. So you let me know what you think the Delphox would have. We've got Gengar sliding back in here, and I was like, all right, I'm going to swap this back in because it's obviously going to go for Shadow Ball, right? So we know it's got Sludge Bomb, and it's obviously going to have Shadow Ball. So I went to the Chesnaught here, the Mega Chesnaught, and we got a mega salty Rage Quit there. Little homie tapped out, like that bulletproof ability, like their switch snapped straight in half like a Kit Kat. So that is the first battle. I hope you guys enjoyed the salty Rage Quit there. Let's get a like on the video for that. It's beautiful. It's nothing like a salty Rage Quit in the morning. All right, let's get on to battle number 2 here. We'll discuss some more of the Megas. So we got a Koraidon lead. Never seen one of them before. Now, Emboar. What will this Pokemon get? So this gets a lot, obviously it gets a lot more in attack. I think it's possible that it might get something like Thick Fat, one of those like really bulky sort of abilities. It won't be something amazing unless they give it Rock Head, right? Because this has got Reckless ability, right? So imagine if they give it Rock Head and then it won't do the recall damage. I think that'll be really good because I deliberately gave it moves like this with Reckless, but I think Rock Head would be a great ability for it, a definite buff to what it is, and losing those big chunks of damage when you fire off your most powerful attacks is very detrimental. So I think that'd be a really good buff for it. You tell me your ideas, what you think Emboar could get, but I think there's a chance of it getting that. Now, Mega Greninja, I mean, it's floating upside down. Maybe it'll have something to do with it being upside down, but I doubt it. I'm trying to think like, nah, not like topsy-turvy. I don't think so. I think that's just aesthetic. So I think it'll get a stat boost or something like that. All right, we got the mouse card coming in. We're going to swap out Greninja. I smell a knockoff coming my way, or maybe a Sucker Punch. So I went to Chesnaught here. Now, Chesnaught, this Chesnaught, I forgot to say what the EVs were. This one was Max Health, Max Special Defense, Careful Nature, Moringa Berry, Bulletproof. We got Body Press, Iron Defense, Leech Seed, and Spiky Shield. So we're going to swap out there a U-turn from the Meowscarada, and we got Terrapagus coming in here. Now, I've got Body Press, which is really good for this. It was a little bit of a surprise it actually went into that, and I figured they must have like a powerful, super effective move. The problem is I built this really special defensively, so with the Moringa Berry, that's going to allow me to land another, to be able to live another Ice Beam, which is great, and then, my Body Press after this one will do a lot of damage there. Unfortunately, they had Rocky Helmet as well, so that unfortunately made it that Ice Beam is going to take out my Chesnaught. Now, I could go Spiky Shield here, but there's no point. It's just stalling, unnecessary stalling, so I let the Chesnaught faint there. A bit unlucky to have Rocky Helmet, but that, that's how it is. So, we've broken the ability. It's time to go on to Delphox. I thought, well, what's the worst you're going to have? Earth Power? And I was like, wait, I've got the Air Balloon, right? Because we're doing Mega Delphox. Now, what is your favorite new Mega, out of all these starters here? Tell me what you think. My favorite would probably be Delphox. I actually quite like it. I like its design. I like its flying on a broom. I wonder what abilities to get. Will we just get something lame like Levitate, or how about like, probably not Earth Eater. That'd be cool though, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe Flash. I'm trying to think. It's not going to be anything super amazing. Or maybe it'll just keep Magician. I'm not sure. Magician's one of those abilities that's gimmicky at best, right? It can work, but then sometimes it can be bad. So they actually, they tried to land an attack against me, but, it failed the first time. So we're able to get a nasty plot up there. So now that I've got 2 nasty plots up here, things are going to get pretty nasty for the opponent. Going for a Fire Mist there, and Terrapagus is going to faint. Now, I was in a pretty strong position here, but I was also in a little bit of a predicament, right? Because my opponent had a very fast Pokemon in the back that hit very hard. Now, Gyarados here, I could take out with Psyshock, but I thought, I'm going to go for Fire Blast, and I know that it's going to live, and then I can finish it off with my next Pokemon. And I'll explain why I sort of sacked off Delphox here. I didn't want to miss Fire Blast, though, but I deliberately stacked off the Delphox there, so there's more Rocky Helmet damage there too. I thought it would put it on a low amount of health there. So the reason I did that was for Feraligtr, or Mega Feraligtr. So my moveset I depicted for the Mega Feraligtr has Dragon Dance and Dragon Claw, right? I think this is either going to get, for its abilities, it either get like Tough Claw or Strong Jaws or something like that. It's something along that's the line that will benefit it, right? And some of the moves it's got like Crunch. Maybe you'll get a new move that's like a dragon biting move or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Judging on its stats, it's obviously still going to be a physical sweeper when it gets its mega toilet seat around it, you know? So we're going to go for that Dragon Dance. And that's going to allow me to outspeed their Pokemon in the back, which is very scary. And we can also have a super effective Terra for it as well. Now, this Feraligtr, we've got Dragon Fang as the item, you know, for its Mega. Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Crunch, and Ice Fang. Sheer Force, of course, as the ability as well. So that's the end of Gyarados. And I thought, well, we've got Meowscarada. That may have Sucker Punch, though. I don't know if it has that or not. It might. I've got Ice Fang for that too. Now, this is where, I don't know, it learns a lot of biting moves. So I feel I could do that too. Or Tough Claw. It does learn a few claw moves too, so it might be one of the other. If you've got any other ideas what it would be, let me know, but I think that's a pretty good assessment of what it could have. And then there's Rocky Helmets everywhere in this battle, so Meowscarada's going to faint, which is good there. That wasn't the Pokemon I was worried about. We got Pokemon number 5, which is Lycanroc, so they're going to keep that powerful Pokemon on the back. I'm going to go for Dragon Claw here. Lycanroc's got a Focus Sash. I'm like, no. So that is the end of my chances of being able to, defeat the last Pokemon because, of course, they've got Reversal too. So that's the end of Mega Feraligtr. I tried, people. Now, in the back is a Miraidon, right? If you were curious there, because as you can see, none of my team would outspeed that, or have, at least my sweeping Pokemon would. So into Mega Meganium here, or just normal Meganium. We're going to go for our Ancient Power, and I was hoping for a boost, but it never ever happened. With Meganium, it might get something like, I haven't really discussed Meganium. How about Triage ability? You know what Comfy gets? Like, that could have Triage, Giga Drain and stuff. I think that'd be really good for it, because it's not like... It's more of a bulky, tanky Pokemon. Doesn't dish out tons and tons of damage, so that could actually make it quite viable that way. So anyway, the last Pokemon, of course, is going to be Miraidon, and it sets up Light Screen. I'm like, oh, this is like a bulky set. I just went for Fake Tears because I thought, all right, I might be able to live an Electro Drift really badly, even though it resists it, or a Draco Meteor or something. So I do live it, and I did drop the Special Defense 2 stages. So I was able to get a little bit of damage off there. That was all I could pretty much do. So here comes Parabolic Charge. So Parabolic Charge and Dragon Pulse. It's a real tanky. It's more of a bulky, tanky set. I can see that. And I lived that. And I managed to get another Ancient Power off here. I was really hoping I could get a speed boost, but sadly I never ever got one. And I couldn't Mega it either into like, a fairy. When I say Mega, I mean Terra, so I'm getting mixed up. But that's the end of Meganium. I've got Greninja left now. Now, Greninja has got all special moves, and I'm like, if I can outspeed this, because I'm running max speed, I've got Naive Nature, max special attack, and we've got that Staff Berry too. So I was looking, I'm like, the only way I can possibly win this matchup is if I outspeed and I flinch, right? So I went for the Dank Pulse, I got some fat damage, and I got a flinch too. The Light Screen ends, so I'm like, wait, this has got a -2 in special defense now, right? So this should be enough to take it out, right? So go for another Dank Pulse. That's the end of Miraidon. That is a fat W. So that is the end of the second battle. Hope you guys enjoyed it there. We got that, I don't know, Battle Bond. Maybe Battle Bond will run through on Mega Greninja and just, I don't know, maybe it'll give more stats and stuff like that. More boost, Tell me all your thoughts. I want to hear them. What do you think these Mega Pokemon will get? And would you like to see me do a team based on the other Pokemon that got Megas that appear in Scarlet and Violet, I did have, Starmie and stuff like that, but I can't use them in this game, so I might do like Mega Dragonite, some of the other ones too, like Skarmory and things like that. So let me know if you want to see that. Support the video, hit that like, tell me all your thoughts. So we've got a next battle here. This was a pretty obvious first impression set. So I did a bit of swap there into Emboar. Now, this team was very, very competitive too. This is a very sweaty competitive team. So I was a little bit at the team period like, I don't know how much I can do to this team. I'm going to, do as best as I can. Let's see how much I can squeeze out of her, right? So I've got Head Smash here. Dragonite swapping in was a dead giveaway that had Earthquake. I've got max health on this, but it still took me out. So I was like, you've got a choice band for that. To be able to get that KO, you definitely had a choice band. So that's the end of Emboar, sadly. Emboar's got a lot of health to it. Its defense isn't all that great, but I'm pretty sure this Dragonite had a choice band. So then they swapped out, which is a bit odd because they easily could have gone for a Dragon Dance there, right? And set up on my Meganium. And then they went back into a Slitherwing there. So I went for the Ancient Power to try and get a boost, which of course never happened. This had an eject button. So clearly you could see the eject button work with First Impression. Now, the Sneasler was a very, very big problem for my team because it had great, had fighting and poison coverage, which my team was a little bit weak to, and it, great speed as well. So I was thinking, how am I going to get around this? What Pokemon am I going to sacrifice? So I went into Greninja. It's going to obviously go for Fake Out there. It normally does that, but it had Poison Touch instead of, Unburden or whatever. So not that was good, but at least I took only a little bit of damage there, and I know what sort of set they're running now. So I've got Extra Sensory, which will do a lot of damage to it. That will take it out. Will they have a Focus Sash? I'm not 100% sure. So we got a swap there from Sneasler. Now, Sneasler's like, you're either going to go back into Dragonite or into another Pokemon. So they went back into Dragonite. So like, all right, you've got extreme speed, right? Now, unfortunately, I don't have an Ice Beam on this set. That would have been great, but I'm trying to do like a flinching set. So it's not like super, super competitive. It's more of all flinching moves. If I had Ice Beam on this set, I definitely would have gone for it then because I knew they were going to swap back in. So I swapped out Greninja, obvious extreme speed. It's pretty obvious there. So I thought, I'll go into Chesnaught. This is fairly defensive set. Plus, I can get some Spiky Shield damage on it if they decide to stay in. So Extreme Speed hits like a wet paper bag, and I've got Spiky Shield and Leech Seed, so I thought maybe they'll swap it. But they went for Roost. It's like, okay, so this Dragonite isn't choice. So I'd say it's definitely Adamant Nature now. Absolutely Adamant Nature, from the damage it did to me there. So I've got Leech Seed up, which is good, but I know they're going to swap. I don't think they're going to set, Dragon Dance or anything like that up on me. We've seen all their moves virtually. So I've got Iron Defense. I thought, well, this is a good time to go for that. I'll get my defense up. I'd say either Sneasler is coming back in here to try and use, any sort of poison move. But they brought in Glimmora. So I was like, all right, that's not too bad. Now, with my ability here, I was wondering, are they just going to go for Sludge Wave or are they going to try and poison me or something? But then they went for Terra. I was like, oh, okay. Terra Glimmora. Interesting. So the Glimmora is going to be Stellar Glimmora, which was intriguing. And they've got Terra Blast. Like, okay, this actually isn't going to do as much damage as I think because I'm running very, very special defensive. I'm not running defensive at all. So I lived that extremely well, and they also dropped their stats too. So that's put me in quite a strong position to go for a Body Press on them or another incoming Pokemon. So Body Press does great damage. Sadly, I had to set up the Toxic Spikes there. There wasn't much I could do. I wanted to get some damage. But still good. They've used up their Terra Pokemon. That was very, very good. So I've got Body Press. I was like, well, nothing's going to like swapping into that except, say, Dragonite or, Sneasler. Should I try and get some Iron Defenses up here? Then they went for a Sludge Bomb. So many people I battle, they always, I guess they don't, expect or not already know much about the Bulletproof ability. What it does, it stops all Ball and Bomb moves, basically. There are other exceptions around that too, like different Pokemon move names and such, but that is a general, general sort of, what the ability does. So we got the Sneasler coming back in. Now I've got Spiky Shield. I know they're going to go for a Fake Out, or if they don't, it doesn't matter. At least I can sort of see what they're going to do. And they did. So that's good. I'm going to get some damage there. And now they've got their signature move, which is a very, very strong move against a lot of my Pokemon. So like, I can't swap into this. I can't swap into a fighting move. I can't swap into anything, right? So Dire Claw doesn't fade me, which is really impressive. Poison Touch, of course, activates. Not that really surprised me. It's a very high chance. And I managed to get a Body Press off there. Now, if I was running max defense, I would have fainted that, but I was running the special defensive one. But then I guess you could say, if I wasn't running max special defense, I wouldn't have done so well against the, Glimora. So, sliding in Mega Delphox here, I need to get rid of, like, this Dragonite, this Sneasler, and this First Impression Slitherwing. I need to get rid of them because they're proving to be very, very difficult for my team. So, we've got a U-turn here. That's not going to do, too much damage there. I thought I might do a little bit more. I don't know what then... Is that Chinese writing? Like Chinese in English letters? I think it is. And then they brought in a Lola Golem. I went for a Psy Shot. Didn't do a lot, but I thought, this is good, right? Because I've got Grass Knot. Now, Grass Knot is a very, very good move, especially when it's super effective against very heavy Pokemon, right? It's all weight-based. Grass Knot is going to completely demolish Golem. They had no idea I was going to do that, so that's great. But not that Golem was a huge, huge threat. Now that the other 3 threatening Pokemon are still left. So obviously they're going to go for First Impression. Is there anything I can truly do here? I was like, well, I've got no options, right? I can't swap into Meganium. I can't swap into Greninja. I've got to try something, right? I have to let it go, So Delphox is down. Now I've got 3 more Pokemon left, and I've only fainted 2 Pokemon, which really aren't, all that threatening. So I've got my Feraligtr here. So with this set, I was like, I've got Ice Fang. I can go Dragon Dance here. Let's give that a shot. So they're going to go U-turn. U-turn does a lot of damage. And I thought, well, they may try and just go into their Sneasler for a free fake out. They actually, I think they just brought it in to sack it off. But I went for Dragon Dance here because I had to for some, speed control, right? So I've got that speed set up. I know they're going to go fake out, and then I know I'm going to take some extra toxic damage, but, there's nothing I can do about this. It's a, very, very powerful Pokemon here. So fake out does a little bit. Feraligtr's got some reasonable bulk to it, It's not a super frail sweeping Pokemon. And I was able to live that, so that's good. Now I've got options. I can go for Dragon Claw. I can go for Ice Fang. I did the Ice Fang just in case I tried to swap their Dragonite expecting like Liquidation or Waterfall, but I don't have a water move on this, so now we got the Dragonite coming back in with the obvious extreme speed. I can't do anything there, I just have to let it faint me, so that at least is the end of Sneasler, which is good because that counted a lot of Pokemon. So I was thinking, how am I going to get around this Dragonite? Wait, I can go Mega Meganium Fairy, right? Or Terra Fairy. So obviously, let's be real. Meganium isn't a great sweeper, really, against these types of, super sweaty competitive sets. But I thought maybe I've got a chance. I might be able to, press them and give them a little bit of a challenge here. So we've got Dragonite swapping out. And I was like, well, this is actually pretty good. If I can get 1 Ancient Power boost, that would actually be pretty good because I can get extra bulky and I can get, faster. But I thought what I first need to do is I need to draw out the Slitherwing, right? I need to draw out their First Impression, and then I need to go for a Terra Fairy, right, to resist that, and I need to be able to get some damage on them, right? So that was my plan there from the start. So we got that Terra Fairy, or that Mega Meganium. I mean, that typing like Grass and Fairy, oof, it's got that quad wingness thing. So we got First Impression, we ate that like a snack. Here comes the Terra Blast, so I've got max special attack. I was like, is this going to be enough to take it out? And it was. So I've got Terra Fairy with a Fairy Feather. So it wasn't bad, right? When you look at, so now I've got them down to 2 Pokemon, which is pretty impressive. The only thing here was I know that Dragonite's got good special defense. I'm like, I have broken multi-scale, sure, but it's still got pretty good special defense. And it's not like Meganium has, what's Meganium? A base 83 special attack. So they're just going to go for a spam extreme speed there. Here comes the Terra Blast. We got that Terra Fairy. We got that Feather as well. Additional damage. Still doesn't take it out. I was like, oh, if I had 1 Ancient Power boost, this battle was done. I could have wiped them. So at this stage, I was like, well, I've just used extreme speed again. I've got Greninja though, which is still alright. But Greninja, as you remember from the start of the battle, took a fair bit of damage, at the beginning. So Dragonite can virtually just press the extreme speed button there without having to work too much. But a very, very close battle considering what team they brought there. I almost came through with a, the Fairy Meganium there. If I had like any other Pokemon that had a little bit more special attack, that would have been no worries. But still a really good battle there, considering what team I brought. Let's get on to battle number 4 here. I hope you're enjoying the battle so far. If you are, hit that like button. Tell me what you think about the Mega Pokemon. Would you like me to do another video on the remaining Megas that are in Scarlet and Violet? Please let me know. Your feedback is super important. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, a Glimmora lead. Never seen one of them before. And we're going to go for Extra Sentry, right? So we got the Focus Sash Glimmora. And I was hoping for a flinch. And I really never got one. Actually, out of... I think I did 4 or 5 battles in a row. And the same thing happened every time. I never got a flinch. Because the Extra Sentry really isn't the greatest move on. It's more of a, it's more of a troll move, basically. So Glimmora goes down there. I didn't give up a Toxic Spikes for its ability, which was, somewhat good. So we've got the Miraidon coming in here, a crazy good Pokemon. Now, I've got Naive Speed, but there's probably a good chance I'm still going to get out Sped here, unless they've got like a tanky one like before. I went for Extra Sentry, and yeah, no flinch, and they got the Electro Drift there. So obviously I'm going to get absolutely, dominated there. Nothing I could do. So my next thought here was, well, I'll go into Chesnaught. What are you going to do? Drake or Meteor? Really Overheat was the only thing I was kind of worried about. If they did hit me with like a Dragon Pulse, that would only boost my special defense. So I thought maybe I could Leech Seed them. Instead of going Iron Defense, let's get the Leech Seed, let's get the recovery, then I could go for Spiky Shell. So they just spammed Electro Drift, and obviously it still did a lot of damage, but now I've got the Moringa Berry, so I know that I can live another one. And I've also got the Spiky Shield too, so that'll allow me to live another one, and then I could go for Body Press afterwards and try and get rid of the Miraidon. At very, very worst here, I could get a swap, and an incoming Pokemon would have to take a Body Press, which, would be some handy damage. So I went for the Spiky Shield here on the Chesnaught. I actually quite like Mega Chesnaught's design as well. I'm trying to think like my favorite one was Delphox. For Gen 6. Yeah, Gen 6 is definitely Delphox, and we got Gen 2, but Typhlosion. I mean, Typhlosion never got one because it got, in the first ZA game, it got a form there, so that does make somewhat sense. I think I like Emboar the most in the other 3. I don't know. Tell me what you think, guys. So we're going to go for Body Press here. Completely played like a fiddle. So that is the end of Miraidon. So bulky Chesnaught. A couple of Body Presses there and Leech Seed. Easy, easy live. Most Chesnaughts would have lost there because they focus on attack and health and defense and stuff. So we've got they just keep coming. We've got Kottmeistern coming in. So this is a bit much for Chesnaught to be able to handle now on such a small amount of health. So I thought I'll go Spiky Shield. I hope they don't go Sword Dance. That was my big worry there. But they went Counter. I'm like, no way. So they countered. I guess they were hoping me to attack them. So I'll admit I didn't expect the counter. So I thought, well, are they going to try it again? Should I go Leech Seed or should I go double Spiky Shield? But now they're going to go for Collision Course. So obviously that's going to faint. Well, that's all good. Wasn't a bad start to the battle there. I've got rid of Glimmora and Miraidon. So my plan here was like Mega Emboar, right? You guys are going to think I'm using Megas in Scarlet and Violet or something. So we've got really no options here. I've got Double Edge. I thought about going for Stellar to give me an initial first turn boost on Double Edge, but I thought it's probably not going to be worth it because it won't do that much damage. It might do half health at most, right? So obvious Collision Course there. I narrowly lived that one on 10 health, which is excellent, and I got Double Edge off. This is why I think that Rocket would be really good on Emboar. I think that would be a great ability for it. It'll give it a lot more usage as well. It'll be more of a, definitely more of an attractive sort of option to use in battles, It wouldn't have to use its best moves then die afterwards. So we're bringing in Delphox here. I've got that Psyshock. I'm running on this one Timid Nature. And I actually take out the Kottmeistern there. So I guess they were running Adamant on their set. So that's the end of Kottmeistern and Miraidon and Glimmora. Now, our fourth Pokemon to come out here is going to be Blissey. Now, watch this. This, you wouldn't read about it. So I was thinking here, well, Psyshock is perfect. They know that I've got Psyshock. So Blissey gets a Quick Claw here. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they went light screen on a Blissey. I'm like, you out of your mind? Like, it's gonna do, like, this thing is gonna be so bulky on the special side. So I went for Nasty Plot this turn. I thought I'm gonna boost up my special attack crimes. You know, Psyshock is gonna deal damage on the defensive side instead of the special defensive side. So Blissey's gonna get absolutely like cooked, right? Then they started setting up. They got Light Screen and Calm Mind. I'm like, what is this Herbert Mystica set, right? So they've obviously got like max health and max defense, right? That's obvious. So I thought, well, gee, I've got 2 nasty plots up. Let's get a third up, right? So it's not often you get that many nasty plots up on a Delphox. So now they're spamming Calm Mind here. I'm like, that's not going to be enough. Like, you're going to need so many Calm Minds, you know, to even do a bit of damage to Delphox. You know, Blissey's special attack. And they would have, you know, isn't that great? And they would have invested everything in bulk, right? So go for Psyshock. Blissey got completely wiped there. And they allowed me to set up 3 nasty plots, which is not good. This Delphox hits pretty hard. Next Pokemon's going to be Dragon. I thought, you know what? They haven't Terra'd yet. I feel like they're going to either go for they're going to have to go for a Terra Normal Extreme Speed here. How about maybe they'll try and go for a Dragon Dance and then Extreme Speed the rest of my team. So I thought, I'll go for Fire Blast here. I know they're going to Terra, and they did, but they went for Terra Steel. I'm like, oh, bro, you're cooked, literally, right? Because that Steel type is going to be super effective. So they didn't actually go for Extreme Speed. I'd say they were going to go for Dragon Dance and then wipe the rest of my team out there. So that's the end of their Terra. And that's the end of their Dragonite. Man, that was good. Because if I went for, you know, Psyshock there, they would have lived that one easily with multi-scale and being able to, you know, snowball with Dragon Dance. So great prediction there. Last Pokemon on the team is going to be Dragapult. I just went for Psyshock here. I had a lot of boost up there, and I was like, yeah, it's got Sash. Bugger. So it's obviously more of a tanky Dragapult for me to outspeed that. And Dragon Darts is actually going to pop my air balloon. And the second one does not take out Delphox. There's the salty cancel. And yeah, there's battle number 4. People, let's get some likes and comments on the videos. Let's go. Tell me your thoughts. Hope you're enjoying today's video so far. I will be back too with you know, our normal theme team battles and stuff like that. I'm pretty much I'll probably be putting up some, you know, some of my shiny hunts and stuff throughout it, but we'll be consistent with the theme teams and stuff from now onwards. I'm sort of back in the groove of getting my teams ready and stuff. All right, first Pokemon is Glimmer. It got completely washed. The second Pokemon is going to be Tyranitar. So I thought, well, this really isn't the greatest matchup. It might be bait too. So let's go into Chesnaught. I smell it. Something was fishy here. You know, so we got Tyranitar using knockoffs. So like, all right, well, that's going to knock off my Morangaberry, which is a bit of a shame. Now, this has Body Press, which is super effective, but on their team, they did have a Zoroark. So I was like, are they disguising it? You know what I mean? It's like, do I go for Leech Seed here? I mean, there's only one way to find it. Then it used Icy Wind. I'm like, what is this? So we got that Icy Wind. Move. So it's like, is this some sort of like, support set for on there? I wasn't really 100% sure, right? Because I know that Zoroark gets Icy Wind, right? And I know that Tyranitar, I believe that Tyranitar gets Icy Wind, and they both get knockoff. So I can see what they're trying to do. I believe, though, that was Zoroark. So we've got that swapping out. They didn't take any damage. I went for Body Press on Goodra. So yeah, it's pretty good damage. So I've got Body Press again, and I've also got Leech Seed, but they swapped it in as bait for a Sap Sipper, I bet you. Like, there was absolutely a reason they did that. I thought, maybe they're going to go for Sludge Bomb. That would be really, really good, right? So, here comes the Ice Beam. So, like, without the Morangaberry to help me live another hit, and the prior damage that I took from Icy Wind, unfortunately, I failed the Goodra KO too. So, I was like, I'll leave Chesnaught in the back. I might be able to swap that in as a sack for another Pokemon. So, into Delphox expecting the Ice Beam here, and I felt like I could possibly get a nasty plot up here or just get rid of it if it did have a way of healing. So Ice Beam's going to do nothing, and it popped my air balloon, right? And I was like, well, if I attack now, I might be able to, get something decent. So I just went for the Psyshock here and took it out. So I just wanted to get rid of that, depending on what the moveset was. So bye-bye Goodra. So Glimora's down, and so is Goodra. Our next Pokemon here is going to be Tyranitar. I was like, oh. Tyranitar is out Sandstream. I wonder what that is. So obviously it's going to be Zoro. I was like, man, what do I swap into here? This is not the easiest of swap-ins. Let's go for Chesnaught, right? So Chesnaught does good damage there. I didn't want to miss too. Like, that was the thing. Oh, I'll go Fire Blast and I'll miss. So I was still happy with the damage that I got. They icy winded me there. They definitely expected me to swap there. They did drop my speed though, which is a bit of a shame, but I thought, well, they're going to go for knockoff now. I'll live that without an item, and I had Assault Vest. Sorry, I got the Assault Vest from the Goodra as well. That wasn't shown, but I was able to live that, which was nice. Magician was stealing all the items because, I got it from Goodra, then it was knocked off, and then I attacked, I stole the next item. So in comes the Tyranitar. This one is will the real Tyranitar stand up? We got that Sandstream. I've got Chesnaught, which is going to do some fat damage unless it's going to be a Terra. That would be our only problem. So I went for Chesnaught here, expecting some good damage, and I got it. That was pretty nice damage there, and it was a weakness policy. I'm like, oh, that's bad. I hope they don't go Dragon Dance here. I hope they just faint me. And weakness policy and a payback instead. It's like, okay. Weakness policy, payback. Nice. Okay, so that's the end of Delphox. I have to get rid of this Tyranitar right now. Now, I wasn't sure if Chesnaught could come in and just go body press. It might outspeed, but I wasn't running any speed in it. I didn't know how much speed Tyranitar was running either. I thought, I don't know if I want to waste that. So I thought, all right, if I go for Waterfall here, that should take it out. But the only problem is I wasn't running max attack. I was just relying on Sword Dance. So that was a mixed attacking set. And of course, Tyranitar does tank that one. So able to get a Stone Edge off, and that's going to annihilate my Greninja. If only I had a special move that was good, it was good there. But that's how it was. So I thought I'll go into Meganium now. I know that I can bait this from this range. I've got Giga Drain. I'm not going to roll the dice and go for Ancient Power here. I don't want it to live on 1 health. I was like, do I go for it or do I not go for it? I was like, this is looking bad. I have to faint it, It's got a weakness policy. It's very scary. So that's the end of Tyranitar. We got 2 more Pokemon left. So I'm still in a pretty good position, but this player had some great Pokemon in the back here. Some really, really powerful really, really good Pokemon. So I was like, man, what do I do to this? Do I go Terra Fairy? I decided against it, so I thought, well, you're just going to go for a fire move here. It learns a lot of good fire move for ice or fire moves. So I swapped in Chesnaught just to see what they were going to run, and they had Freeze Dry, which is pretty standard on White Kyurem. So that's the end of Chesnaught. Now I've got a free swap in. I'm thinking, how am I going to fade this? I've got Meganium. I could bait it out, or I could go for Emboar. I've got Head Smash. That'll do excellent damage here. And what are they going to really have to hit me with? Drake or Meteor? That's going to be about it. I feel like I'll live that, quite comfortably. Not like on 1 health and I won't die to Sandstorm. But then again, with the recoil, I'll probably faint. So I'm just going to take it out. It's too much of a threat. However, they're swapping, right? And they swapped into another equally good Pokemon, which is Necrozma Duskmanes. These are the best Pokemon on the team. These are the ones I was the most worried about. So I don't know whether they really expected Head Smash there. Maybe they did, but it was a little bit risky going for that, right? I could have easily have gone for Flare Blitz there. So now I've got Flare Blitz, but I was thinking you're just going to fame me with your Photon Geyser, but they went for Iron Defense instead. So okay, I went for Flare Blitz, good damage there, but Duskmane is good, right? But then they had a weakness policy on this too. I'm like, bro, enough of the weakness policy. That's the second one. So I took some recoil damage there. I know what's coming here. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to live this. No way. And then I've got a special Meganium in the back. What the heck am I going to do, right? So that's the end of Mega Emboar or Emboar. Nothing I could do there. 2 more Pokemon left. All right, Feraligtr. Here we go. Now, I've got Terra Dragon on this. I thought maybe I could surprise them. And then I've got Crunch. I'm like, there's no way Crunch is going to faint with its ability and Iron Defense up. That's not going to happen, right? And I've got Sheer Force, so I can't get a flinch or anything, or a freeze or anything like that. So do I just go for the Dragon Claw, or do I just go for the Crunch? Like, I'm just going to go for Crunch, and I'm going to hope for a critical hit here. That's all I had at this point in the game. Like, this Pokemon was like so freaking tanky, right? So we got that Terra Dragon, also Mega Feraligtr. I hit it with the toilet seat, but the toilet seat, it fell right down, you know, and it's going to fake me. So there's not much I could have done there. All that's left now is the special Meganium, right? And I figured if I had Terra Fairy on this, I don't think it would have helped too much in this matchup. So I've got max speed. I know they're not going to be running much speed on this. It's probably all bulk and attack. And I've got Giga Drain. So I thought, well, Giga Drain 75 base. They've got a little bit left. This should be just enough to take him out, and it was. So that's the end of the Dust Main. Finally, but it wiped out all, the majority of my team. And now Meganium has to face a freaking white Kyurem, it's a bit of a tall order, you know what I mean? So in it comes, I really need an Ancient Power boost here. Like, I need hit it hard, and I need to get a boost like instantly. That's my only way to get around it. So I did 2 damage to it, no boost. Here comes Fusion Flare. I'm like, well, I don't think I'm living this one. And I did live on 5 health, which is pretty impressive there. Meganium's got some good bulk about it, definitely. That was a sweeping set too. Another Ancient Power, and yeah, they're going to finish me off with Draco Mina. But still a very close battle, considering, like, especially those last 2 Pokemon. That were some great counters there for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're getting some really good battles this thing. We've got 2 more battles today. We've got Battle 6 and Battle 7. This is a battle against Huntdown. This was an interesting battle too. So this is a random egg team, I think, because in Korean, right, if you look at the Pokemon's nickname, that says egg, right, and then the number next to it is 3. So, you've learned something today. Well, I've learned something today. So, Manchow's going to go for a fake out there, sort of doing a little bit of damage. Now, I've got Extra Sensory. I've also got Waterfalls. I thought, well, Waterfall will be all right. Let's see if we get a flinch here, right? I'll turn myself into a Water type. So there's some pretty good damage here. I didn't know what other moves it was going to have. I thought it might be better to not go for a Psychic move, because if it does have U-turn, which it generally always does, I'm going to get absolutely, wiped. Now, Malamar. Oh, I guess Malamar. I guess the next team, the next team, if you want to see it, it would be Dragonite, Malamar. Who else? Farlink, Skarmory. Who else? Who else we got? Who are the another new ones? I know there's another one. Pyroar, I guess, and then we got Frostlass too. Maybe I might have to make another team. So anyway, back to this, but we had an Aqua Pressure Malamar, which it doesn't have Contra. It's got Infiltrator. I don't think it's got Suction Cups. And it got a speed boost. So this thing is speedy as, really fast. So it outspeeds my entire team. Now, the moment they got a speed boost, this is where every disaster in the world happened, right? So I brought in Chesnaught. I'm like, all right, I've got Leech Seed, I've got Spiky Shield. This might be all right if I can get enough of them up, unless I get critted, right? So it's going to use Pluck. I was like, what? So Pluck actually ate my Morango Berry, and it did an enormous amount of damage, because that was actually 4 times super effective. So Pluck is a move you never get to see either. It's a flying move, and it eats your berry too. So that if I had worse defensive stats than that, or bulk, I would have got absolutely destroyed. And I guess it has a beak too, so it can pluck things. But a very interesting move you never ever get to see. So unfortunately, after that pluck, Chesnaught didn't give a what. So I've got 4 more Pokemon left. This is a disaster. So I thought, all right, I'm going to have to go for a Terra here. We're going to have to go for Terra Fairy just to take out this, I don't know, Suction Cup / Infiltrator, Aqua Pressure Malamar, right? This is not going well. So we're going to go for that Mega Meganium. And we got that Terra Fairy. I guess it makes me wonder too, next year we'll have Pokemon champions. Megas versing, Z moves and Terra and all that. It's going to be very interesting to see that. I do believe they'll have some sort of like set rules. Like there'll be like different seasons where there's different rules and stuff. And then there'll be like these all-out ones where you can use all of them. I think it's going to go something like that. Like tell me your thoughts on that, if what you think. I reckon that's going to probably be around it. Unfortunately, this stupid thing had Destiny Bond as well, so it took out my Meganium. So at this stage, I was incredibly salty. Like, I didn't want to see another Malamar again. It's actually funny because, like, you know how you've seen all those videos on Mega Malamar? Is it just me, or I haven't heard a single thing about Malamar at all after that? Like, real talk, right? Yeah, like, gotta be real. So anyway, we got Meowshark coming out here. We know it's got Fake Out. We know it's got U-Turn. It's probably got High Jump Kick or a fighting move. I've got Psyshock as well. So I was like, well, Psyshock will easily take it out, but I'm going to have to be able to, you know, live a Fake Out, which I know I can. And it's going to pop my Air Balloon too. So I thought, well, if I do attack this, at least I can get myself an item. And hopefully it'll be a really, really, you know, good item. That's the thing about Magician. Now, I actually don't think I've done a Magician ability team, so maybe that'd be one I could do soon. I'm not sure if I've done one. A real, like, avid PIMPNITE viewer who knows all my themes or what I've done. You guys will know if I've done a Magician team before. I feel like I have done it, but maybe I have not, so maybe that could be one I do. So we got rid of the Meowshark. In comes a Choice Scarf Scum Tank, and it dropped my special attack as well. I'm like, what is this? And the Fire Blast misses as well. I'm like, this is like some salty like Choice Scarf stench set, and there was nothing I could do there. Like, I mean, I could have swapped, but what was the point? I had like 2 damage, to faint me. So that's the end of Delphox. So into Mega Emboar now. So I can go Flare Blitz. I can do tons of things here. Now, I know it's locked into Snarl because it's Choice Scarf, right? So I've got Flare Blitz. I've got Wild Charge. I got a good spread of moves, right, to go for. That's one thing about Emboar. It's got a great, range of moves that are, that could be good for an ability like Rocket. So in comes Gramble. Gramble almost gets smoked in one shot. Very, very close. This one didn't have Intimidate either, so maybe it had Rattled or Quick Feet, I think it's got. I know it's got Quick Feet. I think Rattled might be the other ability. So that's the end of Gramble. Really, the only drawback there was the recoil. So in comes Cramorant. This is egg number 4. It's like, oh, I've got Wild Charge. So here comes the Surf. I live the Surf. I've also, my item, I didn't say my item, it's a Salt Vest. You probably guessed that from me living the attack. So I was like, all right, here we go, I can live this. But I got taken out by a fish. I was like, oh, come on. First a calamari and now a fish. This is an absolute disaster, right? So I've got one more Pokemon left, and I've got to get rid of this Speedy Skunk and, another unknown troll Pokemon, right? So I got the Feraligtr. I feel the time is right to go for a Dragon Dance, and this should allow me to outspeed it. I've got Dragon Claw as well, and I've also got I've got Ice Fang. That's about it. So I went for Dragon Dance. This thing uses Memento. I'm like, oh no. So Memento's gonna drop my attack 2 stages. So like, I'm actually glad I went for Dragon Dance there. So now, after Dragon Dance, I've got a +1 in speed, and I've got a -1 in attack. Last Pokemon is Haxorus. So this funny story about this Haxorus. I was doing some like my Nuzlocke. I do and stuff, and I trade away some Pokemon. This is the exact Haxorus that got traded away. So I don't know what sort of troll set this was going to be getting used against me, but I was about to find out. So we got a Terry here, and I was casting my mind back, and then I remembered, oh wait, when I caught it, it had Terra Stellar, right? So like, I don't even know what to expect. It's going to have like all different kinds of moves, right, for for Stellar. So I knew I would outspeed, so I went for Dragon Claw. Dragon Fang, Dragon Claw only just did under half its health. I'm like, no. And then it had Breaking Swipe. I'm like, come on. So Breaking Swipe did a lot, but that was with the initial Stellar boost. So I knew that I could live another one. And I could just keep clawing away at Haxorus to take it out, right? That was my plan. Now, I thought, I'll go for Dragon Claw again. It lived, which I knew it would. And then Haxorus went for a dig. So I was like, oh no, wait, this is going to be a Stellar dig. So it's got Breaking Swipe and dig. I'm like, all right, I go Dragon Dance here. I pray that I live the dig, or I'm going to get roasted by you guys. And then I finish it off with any attacking move. So going for Dragon Dance, it wasn't any point go for attack at all. I was also hoping that it didn't have Quick Claw. And I just lived the dig. That was a stellar dig. Only I pooped my shell there. So any move, it doesn't matter what I use, is going to take out the Haxorus. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So that is the end of the battle. But man, that Malamar was not nice. Like, that Malamar was very, very cruel as well. Hope you guys enjoyed that battle. It was a fun one. Let's get on to the last battle here. Battle number 7. Let's get some likes on the video today, people. We're hyped for the return of the theme teams. And if you would like that second, that maybe you'd like, after seeing this, you might like that second Mega one, let me know. I just tried to do a few, a bit of content on some of the new info we got. It's pretty limited, though. I can really only, touch on some of the Mega Pokemon. But I've had a few questions. I know a lot of you have asked me this in the comments and on streams. I will be continuing Scarlet and Violet content until Pokemon Champions. Let's have a look how Pokemon Champions goes. Is it going to be a good game? What sort of content can we get out of it? And I might run both at the same time, or I might run one and the other, or just, one over there. We'll see, right? It all depends on how, good it's going to be, right? Anyway, so we have next battle. This one is against Kirashura, and we have a Gengar lead here. So this Gengar was like a toxic set, like a setting up toxic set, right? So it actually curse bodied my move too. Now this was the entire team of Gengars, so 6 Gengars, right? It's gotta be interesting to use some of these. Haven't used some of these Megas for a long time, so it'll be good to use them in the official games again. So, Agathera, well, that's the end of Agathera, I guess. I mean, she was pretty old. So that's the end of both the Gengars, right? Emboar took a little bit of damage there. It's going to feign itself. There's not much I could have done. I like Emboar. Man, it's hard because I actually like Emboar and Delphox. The more I think about it, I actually really like Emboar too. Like its design and stuff. Like some of these Mega designs I didn't like, but some of them I did like. It was like I either really liked them or I just... And then, of course, we won't talk about Mega Starmie, right? Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, so that I guess that's how it is, right? Like, it's up to like personal opinion, what you sort of like, in designs and stuff. So our next Gengar we got is a trick one. It's going to trick me an item, and I got a Choice Scarf. Oh, that's mean. And I got my Fairy Feather, so I am going to go for Ancient Power Choice Scarf. I thought, all right, this isn't all that bad. I guess I'm going to tell you guys something. I had a lot of battles with this team, and I never got a single Ancient Power boost. I know it's not a very big chance, but as you know, I do a lot of battles on my teams, right? I don't just do like 4 or 5 battles. I do like, 30, 40, sometimes 50 battles with these teams to give you guys some great content to watch, right? So I never got a single one right. And now my Ancient Power, the PP was going down on my Ancient Power really quickly. It's bad when your PP goes down, right? You want your PP to be up, anyway. So I got trapped in by a meat look, right? So I was trapped in, I was holding a Choice Scarf, my PP had run out, I couldn't do anything. So I was like, well, this is my last Ancient Power. You know what's going to happen after that? I'm going to start struggling. Struggling is, we might be able to do some decent damage here. I thought, well, Gengar's, it's not really a bulky Pokemon. So now I'm going to be struggling, and I almost took it out. Very, very close. Sadly, I took some recall from that, and Nitro, will take me out too there. I don't know, I might do another struggle team again. It has been a very, very long time since I've done a struggle team. This is where I forcibly make opponents struggle and stuff. It is a very taxing sort of theme team to do, though, because you've got to get all your strategies to work, and some people will rage quit, right? The moment you struggle them, they'll just, throw their switch out the window and stuff and curl up in the fetal position. So we're going to go for a Side Shock there on the Gengar, and, Gengar's going to head off to Lavender Town now. So that's half the team down. Delphox is pretty good against this team, but I didn't want to get outspeed. Next Pokemon is Halloween. I got to think of a team to do for Halloween. I've got something in mind, and that was a physical Gengar, and it just Shadow Punched me. It sort of makes me miss other days where I had my physical Gengar, had that Power Up Punch, had that Shadow Punch. They were good days. I actually hope Power Up Punch. I know Power Up Punch was a very good move. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I actually would like that to come back. just don't have it to, don't teach it to Mega Kangaskhan, please. even with like the nerfs on Parental Bond, that was crazy. All right, so bringing in Mega Greninja, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I've got Dark Pulse, I've got Extra Sensory. Will they have a focus? I don't really know what they're going to have as an item. So I was like, I'll go in for the Extra Sensory. They may not expect a Psychic move, especially in front of a Ghost type, right? And that took it out. So like, all right, there's 2 more Ghost Pokemon. Now, this was actually pretty interesting because I was thinking, the earlier battle, how I used Chesnaught and I had Bulletproof, right? Mate, it's funny, against 6 Gengars, I haven't really, they haven't really used Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb at all. And you'd think with 6 of them, I have a good chance. So I swapped in Chesnaught here because I'd taken so many of them out. And I thought, why not? We'll swap it in here. I can't do anything anyway. Let's Leech Seed it. So, obviously, Hypnosis won't work on me. I'm poisoned. It's like, I wonder what this set is. Is this a I was trying to think, is this a Dream Eater set? And I was like, maybe it's I think this is a Dream Eater set, so they couldn't do anything in this battle. There wasn't any Pokemon that couldn't be poisoned at all. Like, no levitating or flying Pokemon and stuff, or, poison Pokemon to absorb it. So I went for Leech Seed here on the Gengar. Like, all right, this is good, but the only bad thing is, like, I can't use Body Press. I'm going to have to wait for a Terror or something like that. And I'd have to be pretty lucky for it to be a non-ghost. Like, anything but a Ghost type would be good. So I've got Iron Defense, and I've got Spiky Shield, and I've got Body Press. I'm like, wow, yeah, I think I'm just going to let this thing faint, right? But I thought, I'll try and get as much damage on this Gengar, before I actually faint. So Gengar is going to go for a Nasty Plot here. So Nasty Plot is a good move. I got a story for you guys, real quick, right? Morty in Gen 2, right? That Togepi egg you get? I freshly hatched that Togepi egg. No joke, right? I brought it into Morty's gym and I soloed it with the Togepi with Metronome only. I didn't use any other Pokemon. I soloed it with that Togepi, like all the Metronome damage. Took me like ages, right? Anyway, Gengar's going to go for a Sludge Bomb and we've got Bulletproof. I'm like, wait a second. Does this only... I wonder if this only has Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb. This will be really, really good. So, like, Shadow Ball doesn't work on it, and either does Sludge Bomb, so this is really good. Plus, if you notice, Leech Seed was actually doing enough damage there, but this was going to take forever, though. This was going to take for the rest of my natural life. So, like, all right, let's see what the other moves are. And, of course, it's got both the moves. So, it's funny how, good this ability was against Gengar. I feel like it's best against Gengar. Is there any other Pokemon that really make use of Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb as much as Gengar? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, definitely Shadow Ball, but Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb. I can really only think of Petulant, maybe? But then that uses Malignant Chain, right? It's got Malignant Chain, Shadow Ball. Yeah, I don't think... And maybe Slowking Galar, maybe? But then that... Yeah, I think that Gengar would be the most prevalent user out of all of them. Maybe Darkrai as well, but I don't know. Sludge Bomb is not bad on Darkrai, so yeah, he could. Anyway, we're gonna have a. I actually swapped out there because this was taking 2,000 years. I was like, I'm gonna keep that and bring in my other Pokemon. But they swapped. We both swapped at the same turn, right? So I brought back in the Greninja. I was already poisoned previously. And I've got Dark Pulse and Extra Sensory. So I've got plenty of ways to take these 2 Gengars out. If I outsped them, of course. Which I was pretty confident that I could. Because Greninja's got a little bit more speed than Gengar. I mean, Gengar is pretty fast, for sure. But, Greninja is pretty fast too. So we're going to go for Dark Pulse there on the Gengar. And there's no Focus Sash and no Troll items, right? So that's the end of that. I'd say that Gengar was nicknamed after the Mega Gengar as well. The shiny goes like a really cool white color. Last Pokemon is Morty. It's got its air balloon, and I virtually can go any attacking. I just went for Extra Sensory. I was like, oh, we got a Terror here. I wonder what it's going to be. Is it going to be Ghost? It was fighting. I was like, oh, okay. So Extra Sensory is super effective against that anyway. So that is the end of the battle. Cool team there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really fun team to do. We'll be back with theme team stuff on the regular too. And a little bit of ZA shinies mixed in. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, leave me a comment, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, everyone.